Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts George Labonte and Rick Riles as they step aboard the Glasstream 255 Pro XS. Representing the 20 to 26 foot class in the center console category, the Glasstream 255 Pro XS has an overall length of 24 feet 10 inches, a beam of 8 feet 5 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 350. Built for speed and venturing offshore, she has a draft of 15 inches, a dead rise of 22 degrees, a dry weight of 3,850 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 85 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts, George Labonte and Rick Riles.
George, over the last 2 years, we've done a handful of Glasstreams now. You know what they've all had in common?
What's that?
They're all fun to drive, they're all fast looking, and they all go really fast. This 255 Pro XS, no exception.
Yeah, I mean, Rick, this boat to me says sports car. It's a sports car and a boat. You know, Rick, what kind of person is going to buy this boat?
The guy that I see walking into the Glasstream dealership for this boat, first off, he wants to look good. He's got a family, he's not alone. There's people he needs to answer to. Like, look at this model we've got, the Buckskin edition, okay? It just looks great, so it's got to have that feature to him. Chances are he's got a couple of kids and he wants to have a great time with them on the weekend.
We know Glasstream is one of the first people to bring the step into practical use in a sport boat, not a racing boat. You know, you think about a step hull, it's not just limited to big boats. I mean, this boat's a single step on the bottom. It's nothing new to Glasstream. They've been doing it for years and they've got it figured out.
Well, certainly they've really dialed in the step. This boat being a little bit smaller, it's got a single step. It not only improves the performance offshore, it improves it in this package inshore just as well.
You know what, Rick? There's a bunch of features on this boat I like. Let's have a look around. Actually, let's start right here. I want to talk about this Buckskin Package.
George, they call this the Buckskin Package. Of course, that comes from the upholstery, which looks very, very much like buckskin, by the way. But they changed everything up here.
Yeah, you know what? This is a totally new, retooled boat for 2018. They've changed the seating around. They actually added forward seating up here, which not only creates a place to sit, actually lots of places to sit, but adds a bunch of storage to the boat as well.
George, when we say they retooled a boat, what did they change besides the forward seating?
They added a bunch of space in the cockpit. We're going to look at that in just a minute. But another thing they did inside this console, they lowered the deck in there to create more headroom, really opened up the space in the head down below. Rick, it's about 115 degrees here right now. How about we get underneath this hardtop and get in some shade and look at the middle of the boat?
Remember, George, I told you these boats look like they're going fast and they go fast. It's at 50 miles an hour plus that you really appreciate these racing seats.
Yeah, you know, again, I'm becoming a fan of these. I didn't like the look of them when I first saw the things, but when you get in there and get cozied up and you start going 50, 60 miles an hour, you definitely know why they're there, and they're very comfortable.
Glasstream owners care a lot about how good they look. This console really makes this boat stand out with the shading they did on it.
Yeah, you know what? The whole style of the boat is consistent from front to back, top to bottom. I mean, this is a very racy looking boat. Like I said before, a sports car style, and it continues through the console and the hardtop. It's just got the lines of a sports car. This is a really nice oversized hardtop for this boat. It's got all the shade you need underneath here. It doesn't really intrude into the workspace in the cockpit either. You know what? Let's move back here. Speaking of not infringing on the workspace here, one of the things they did when they retooled this boat for 18 is they opened up the cockpit a lot. Not having this transom fish box kind of live well set up back here, they pushed the seat back a little bit. They really opened it up. They opened it up by a couple of feet in here, and it's much roomier.
Makes a lot of difference when you start putting a family on a boat.
We really opened up this space, Rick. For a 25-foot boat, you've got about as much room as you could want back here. You're not losing your live wells. You got two here. You can actually jump out on this back here and fish off of the back. If you had a big fish, you can work them around the motor back there. This boat is not just for riding around.
No, there's a whole school of thought behind having twin live well stores. A lot of times you're taking the kids, you need a dozen, 2 dozen live shrimp. You don't want to catch them in a 50-gallon well. Now you've got plenty of live well capacity if you need it, if you're going for a long day offshore. But how good is it to only have a small well to keep a few live baits in for your kids?
Rick, they really managed to pack a lot of features into this little 25-foot boat. I mean, 25-foot boat's a little boat to me now, but they put a lot in this boat.
They did. It's a smaller version of everything we loved about the big 36 that we did. If you've got a family and your emphasis is on having a good time, the Glasstream 255 Pro XS might be the best boat for your family.